Hi, my name's John, and by doctor's definition, I'm a schizophrenic. Paranoid schizophrenic, to be exact.
I read your
But my
theory on the use
definition,
of the
I'm just
brain's
someone with
capacity. It's a
a
little
gift that's
rudimentary, but
broken.
you're on the right track.
This video is not only to give
What
you
I'm
an
saying
idea of
is
what
that your theory
it's like to
is
live
not
with schizophrenia,
a theory.
but also to
I
let you
absorbed a
some of my
large quantity of
friends see and
synthetic
experience what I
CPH4
see on
that
a
will allow
daily
me to use
basis.
100% of my
I
cerebral
also hope
capacity.
this will help my friends understand quite often what I go through and the daily battles of being schizophrenic for anyone to go through. This video may seem like it's kind of jumbled, but that's kind of how my mind works. I'm going to try and superimpose some stuff to communicate more on how I feel and how I think and what goes on in my mind. If you have not done so, I'd also suggest watching A Beautiful Mind and The Black Swan for more mainstream view on what schizophrenia is and better understanding of what it is. But that being said, I could not even go halfway through with Black Swan, and it's just a little effed up. Honestly, and I just turned it off. I wrote all this out to kind of help me stay focused and on topic, and hopefully it'll help me do just that. I will still have a couple secrets I'll take to my grave, but don't expect this video to be all that revealing of a documentary. Let's start with the definition of schizophrenia. It's that you hear voices and or see things that are not there, commonly referred to as auditory and visual hallucinations. Others might also believe in grandiose delusions or believe someone is out to harm them or constantly watching them. You know, sort of like George Orwell's book, 1984. Now, I've been living with it since I was born. I was diagnosed when I was 21. My earliest memories are really kind of odd. Kind of like the Matrix, the visualizer most people put on their phones. So many people don't understand it. I figured I'd try and help out. I was also never like any of the other kids in school. I was relentlessly bullied in elementary and high school. I don't attribute this to my sickness, but mainly because I was never like anyone else. No, I never thought I'd go through school and go shoot it up and blame it on Maryland and where were the parents at. Also not a stupid person who just believes in their delusions for the sake of believing in them. I've tested this over and over in the scientific ways over and over for years. I've literally tried to prove myself wrong.
It's up to us to push the rules and laws and go.
Even in the peak of my schizophrenic episodes, probably one of the hardest times of my life, I was still,
And what would be the next stage?
Well, the next
before I was
stage would
considered
probably
a
be control of
mature
other people.
patient, I
But
guess.
for that, we would need
I
to
was
access
tested.
at least 40% of our brain.
I scored high on IQ tests. I scored a 147. Yes, I know it's subjective, that's which IQ tests you do and that, but also landed in the top 0.5% of
Excuse me,
PE
sir?
reasoning
Yes.
and that. So,
What would happen if,
not exactly
for
a
some
stupid
reason, we
person just
ignore
writing this to try.
somebody and lock 100%?
I guess it all depends on how you apply yourself and your aptitudes and everything
100%?
else.
Yes.
Okay, so now you know a little about me. Let's get into the meat of this video.
I have no idea.
My definition of the illness is simple. I don't agree enough on reality with you.
Once the
A
brain
good
reaches
example of this
20%,
is
it opens
visual
up and
light.
expands the
The
rest.
visual
There
light
are no more
spectrum
obstacles.
versus the
They fall
entire
away
light
like
spectrum are
dominoes.
quite
I'm
different.
colonizing my own
Our
brain.
eyes only see a small
Also, I
fraction
can control
of
magnetic
the
and electric
percentage of visual
waves.
light.
Not all of them,
We need
just the most
special equipment
basic.
to see it without,
television,
because we can't see it with our normal
telephone,
eyes. That is my main theory on how I
radio.
see and hear and experience what I do and how I try and share it. I'm just open
It's
to
like
more
all things
range
that
of
make us
what
human are
is
fading
out there
away.
in the world. It's just
It's
I'm
like
not
the less
existing within your narrow
human
scope of
I
reality
feel,
than a larger one.
all this knowledge
Things
about,
I deal with on a daily basis are voices
everything.
in my head and try and convince me
they're
of
all
things
exploding
both
inside
real
my brain, all
and
this
fictional.
knowledge. I don't know what to do with it.
I'm also prone to picking up other people's emotions and subconscious thoughts by merely being in proximity or familiar with them. Read the book Blank, Thinking Without Thinking. It'll give you a good idea to start understanding how many subconscious thoughts people actually have and how they're applied to the subconscious and conscious levels. Now imagine being able to hear that all the time without control of who, when, or where you hear it. I have a hard time in crowds because I'm constantly having to hear other people's subconscious thoughts, their judgments of me, their surroundings, even if they don't necessarily entertain the thought at a conscious level. Anytime I'm in public places, I hear this chatter all the time. It's like having someone talking to you or yelling at you, depending on the person. Like ghosts or spirits speaking to you. Or as some say, demons and devils, angels on your shoulders trying to convince me of things. All depends on your point of view. And if someone's happy and touches me in a crowd, I get an influx of their emotions, which can be great. But if someone else is sad and they brush up against me in a crowd, it can be very confusing. Not only that, it's very taxing and emotionally draining, as I'm sure any empathic friend of yours will attest to on any given day. As going into a crowd, it's like a yo-yo. Whoop! Oh, I'm happy. Oh, I'm sad. And this person's mad, and that person's angry. Now let's shift the focus outwards. Not what I feel inside, but outwards. To what I actually see on the daily. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the movie The Sixth Sense. Like seeing dead people, I guess. But in reality, I wouldn't say they're dead. Just in a different phase or dimension or reality than me. Sometimes they're shadowy figures, and they're really quite fleeting. Other times, not so much. Some will run away or be creepy or even be of other species. AKA, think of your greys, your aliens, and things like that. But in the end, others will attack me, try to damage me spiritually. Guess a good way of looking at it is being halfway between the spirit world and the real world. Some entities are strong enough to reach out and physically mark me up, or even attack me, leaving sensations and marks on the attack. I cannot explain them, but I have documented them many times. Someone once called them Kiesco marks. When I see things with my third eye, it tends to be more of a dream or vision state, but they can reach out and touch that real shadowy figure, or it can jump up for me. I also see some other constant visual hallucinations. From the matrix-like patterns that cover my world no matter where I seem to go or what I'm doing, to the Fibonacci sequence, to stars that are constantly twisting and turning and contorting, and visual in and out of my vision, winking in and out of existence. I can only theorize that most of this is linked to either the energy, patterns, or the fact that the world is some sort of matrix or something along those lines.
What is real?
We're merely a battery.
How do you
source.
define real?
It's all just
If
theories.
you're talking about what you can feel,
Now you're probably
what you
wondering
can
why
smell,
these lyrics keep
you taste,
popping up
see,
and things
and
keep
real
popping up
simply
in here.
electrical signals
It's how I
interpreted
feel
by the
inside.
brain.
It's also how many artists have to deal with problems I have, so I use them to relate. But also when someone's yelling at you in your head, you just can't shut them up. It definitely helps to have something that drowns them. Quite often I sleep with music on, my ears all night to avoid being woken up by the voices that are in my head. Or it's keep me from hearing conversations and thoughts of loved ones or friends that I have no business doing. It's kind of a broken gift. The hardest days I remember was having to sit at home, listening to the thoughts of a woman I loved at the time, talk with her friends about whether she'd continue dating me or not. It was hard hearing their unbiased judgments and opinions, listening to your relationship dwindle in a way of helping. I'd like to thank them for sitting through that day with me and helping me get through it. Many who suffer from these and other symptoms will often resort to drugs, alcohol, or to drown it or suppress it. It's a broken gift they have. I have voices in my head, can't get out of bed. Guessing that is why I'm the black sheep of the family, always dressed in black. With a checkered past of substance abuse. Probably why my brother once said I'm just a skid in a crackhead. Even though I never did crack or commit a crime to support all the things that I've done. I remember everything as if it only happened yesterday. And I'd still love to smash his face into the table of the restaurant for saying so. But it was a family dinner and I chose to take the high road and give the family respect. I'm not doing this. For all those that suffer from this illness, you're probably rather skeptical that someone would come forward and be so revealing about such things in the world. Shouldn't the government be after me, or people trying to kill me, or everyone's against me? Well, yes, some days I do feel that way. Other times I feel like really if they were out to kill me, they'd do it. And they've already happened. I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna hide. I have voices in my head. I can't get out of it though. But every day I say, fuck it, and get up. They tell me they'll hurt me if I get out of bed. So I say everything I've said before. All these words make no sense, but I get out of bed, see if they can really hurt me. They don't. I have many problems and delusions, as some would say. But I don't call them delusions, I call them gifts that are broken. I understand it, I understand where it comes from. I know how to handle it, I know my warning signs. I know that not everything someone says in their head or things that I hear are truths. But I also know there's some truth to all of it. Makes it hard to live with this thing that we know. All dealt different cards and all got to do with it. So yeah, hope this video gives you a little idea of kind of what I go through on a daily basis, kind of things I see.
Ignorance brings chaos, not knowledge.
Yeah.
I see everything, Carl. I'm 50 moves ahead of you and everybody else.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.